This is my boy Solomon.
Hey, it's me.
Solomon, what's going on, man? I could have sent you the link to join the room, but what's on your mind, man?
Oh, my bad. I wanted to talk about what you're talking about, endorsements and disappointments. It's a good theme. I'm not quite satisfied yet with your answer on Elizabeth Warren because I think there's something missing. But I do want to talk about.
Wait a minute, who gave you? I'm not bringing you on to be a co-host to bust my chops every single time you call in, man. Go ahead. What did I do wrong with Hillary? Not Hillary, but Warren. Where did I go wrong with Warren? Go ahead.
The first one to say I don't want to hit on Martin O'Malley too much because he just endorsed John Fetterman, the Bernie crap running for Senate in Pennsylvania, so he might endorse Bernie soon.
Okay.
So I don't want to hit him too much, but just other
He's
Democratic,
got potential, just not right now.
Huh?
He's got potential, but just not right now, or even in 4 years. He needs some more gray hairs.
He's young. He's got time. But the lineup for the Democrats this year, this cycle, there are some promising candidates. Tulsi Gabbard was one I've been looking at a lot. A lot of them disappointed me before the second cycle, but besides Tulsi, all of them have disappointed me. People like the Castro brothers, which I agree with Sam Cedar, were like they're okay progressives, but I do think both of them are kind of overrated in terms of their ability to draw voters. Like they're not very charismatic. Cory Booker, I talked with the Human Support on Twitter a lot. He's been a massive disappointment for me. It's been really just what's happened to him is very sad. But the fact that regardless of that, they still could have made decent candidates.
Listen.
People.
Hold that thought, because I totally didn't say why I was disappointed in Deval Patrick. I've got a clip up here. You guys go back in Spreaker. Go to Spreaker.com/the Benjamin Dixon Show, and I want you to go all the way back to like before even my very first episode. And I did a clip on damn proud to be a liberal, and I use a clip of Deval Patrick from the 2012 convention. And Deval Patrick was so dynamic. I mean, he would make you proud to be a progressive, even if we're in a red scare with McCarthy, right? It didn't matter. Deval Patrick had that fire that could have energized this election. But you guys know what he did instead? And Deval, I love you. I really want you to come on my show. He went and worked for Bain Capital. He left the governor seat in here in Massachusetts, and he's working for Bain Capital, which pretty much is the death knell in terms of progressivism and the Democratic Party. So he pretty much is saying that he's never going to run for office ever again. Solomon, go ahead.
Yeah, there's just the candidates, the young generation of candidates, progressive or just moderate Democrats. They all got swept under the rug by Clintonism, and it's why I really want Clintonism to go away and these Clinton giants, these titans, to stop sweeping up all the attention. Is that instead of building a better Democratic coalition for the 21st century, we're stuck with a repeat. I don't want to call them artifacts as an old, but like pieces from the late 20th century Democratic Party forcing themselves in now, and now instead of running, all these guys are just endorsing this machine from the past. And it's annoying that their need to run just to run and just to be in the White House, because I still believe that's the main reason Hillary Clinton is running and why Bill is supporting. I think they just really like having that central power, and it'll extend their power beyond the White House even longer. And that them all just running with them and not running against them and creating a competitive market for candidates. Now, if they had all run, the Democrat, I think turnout would be a lot higher. If Bernie had run, if Elizabeth Warren had run, if some of the younger Democrats had won, we'd have that larger electorate that would probably be beating the Republican turnout right now, even with this record turnout. But specifically about Elizabeth Warren, the thing that I think is missing from what you said is that I do tease you a lot about your love for Elizabeth Warren, as she's been kind of disappointing.
I don't know, she just reminds me of my third grade teacher, man. So anyway, go ahead.
It's the fact that I do want to just make sure that you saw that reason for disappointment, but I also wanted you to maybe have some sort of explanation, like what her mindset is.
Well, actually, I'm glad you said that. right? So Dave Odell on Twitter just tweeted me and he said to cut Senator Warren some slack for not endorsing Bernie Sanders because we may be underestimating the devastation that Clinton's machine could do. And that's the only thing I can really think of, right? That's the reason she didn't run for president. But here's a problem. Here's the thing, right? I don't think people realize where we are in America. People want somebody who doesn't give a shit and will fight against the machine, even if they may lose. And that's what Donald Trump has done. Donald Trump has run headlong against an entire establishment. Mind you, he had money to do it, right? There's a big difference. But so do progressives. But anyway, we don't want somebody who's going to be afraid of a fight. We want people who's going to run headlong into a fight. And if we see somebody brave enough to do that, people would rally behind her. So, to this question of the damage that the Clinton machine can do, to me, just in my world, that's all the more reason for me to run up on them. I want the biggest. I want the baddest. I want the person who everyone else is afraid of. Send me your bullies. Send me your Goliaths. Send me your assholes, and I will show you what can be done with them. And that's what people are looking for. And we needed Elizabeth Warren to do that. And Bernie Sanders is the only one who had enough hubris to do that. So outside of her being afraid of the Clinton machine, or not afraid, but intimidated by the Clinton machine, and outside of her trying to maintain her position in the Senate, I honestly cannot give you a valid justification as to why she would not endorse Bernie unless she just doesn't believe in him. There's that possibility too.
There's been leaks from the staff that the message coming out of her is that she's still not convinced he can win in November. Like, that's what she said, not the primary. She's afraid that progressivism isn't electable right now in the general, which, if that's true, that's just a whole another level of bewilderment on my part.
But you know what that means? You know what that means for everyone. I swear to God, for everyone who's saying they just don't know progressivism can win in November. Remember, you said that when we come through in 2 years and we start wiping the floor with everybody who did not do right by progressivism.
And it's the other thing is, she knows the Clintons don't like her already. They've hated her since the bankruptcy thing, where she outed Hillary Clinton on being corrupt in the Senate. And the fact that Bill, even after that, for a 2012 Senate run, Bill refused to do any speech. Even the DNC asked, he refused to support her campaign in any way. They asked him if he could do speeches, if he could campaign with her in Massachusetts, and Bill absolutely refused. So there's still black blood. And in a Hillary Clinton administration, to think that Elizabeth Warren wouldn't already be vehemently disagreeing with half the stuff the administration does. Why is she worried about upsetting them?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
She must not think progressives can win.
Absolutely.
Because the Clintons being mad at you doesn't. She's going to disagree with them constantly if they're in the White House. So why does she care if they disagree with her?
Thank you, Solomon. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. And I've got to grab a couple other calls, man. Appreciate it. If you want to join the room, send me actually, I'm getting ready to end. So tomorrow. All right. Thanks, dude. All right. I absolutely agree. Here's the thing. You cannot. Who was our? Okay. I'm using me as an example. You can't be beholden to people. Strike that. Perfect example. Melissa Harris Perry. I can get this in here. Perfect example of why you cannot allow people to be your path to promotion. You cannot. It doesn't work, because people are only going to use you as much as they need you. And as soon as you step out of line, they no longer need you. And guess what? It's their platform. Your option is to overthrow their platform and build your own. Now, I'm going to talk about Elizabeth Warren a little bit more, and Melissa Harris Perry in the same exact vein. Melissa Harris Perry has walked away from MSNBC. I like Melissa Harris Perry. Sometimes I don't like her, but most of the time, I would say 8 times out of 10, 7, I give myself a C. I have a C rating with Melissa Harris Perry. But I just like nerdy intellectual conversations, and she usually did a deep dive. I actually like Chris Hayes on Saturday when he was doing Up, because it was much more intellectually robust. But that's besides the point. The point is that Melissa Harris Perry is gone from MSNBC, and she went out with a bang. She went out with, I am not your mammy. I'm not your little brown haired doll, but your brown doll. You're not going to do me like this. You know what? Hey, you know, as long as if you're going to quit, then you might as well quit in style. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. If I'm going to quit, I'm going to boom. I'm going to drop the mic when I leave. So I get it. But here's the problem. You don't own MSNBC. MSNBC technically doesn't owe you anything, right? They gave you, and if you want better commentary on this, go check out my girl Yvette Carnell over on Your Black World. She nailed this. MSNBC did not have to hire you. MSNBC does not have to put you on anytime that they don't want to put you on. MSNBC doesn't have to do anything for you because it's their platform, and they get to dictate the terms of your appearances on their platform, just like you have every right to walk away, Melissa Harris. And I love you did it. Boom, you walked away. But the problem is, if you're waiting on something that is fully established to be your channel to success, then you're going to always be beholden to them, just like Elizabeth Warren and the Clintons. If Elizabeth Warren is sitting around waiting on the Clintons, on Bill Clinton to come do a speech for her in order for her to be successful, then she's already lost. If she's waiting around for a nod from the Clintons to get anything in 2006, 17 and beyond, then she's already lost, because there are so many people who are in line waiting for handouts, from political handouts from the Clintons. That's number one. But number two, if you ever say something contrary to them, then you're out of the club. I would much rather say, you know what? I think you're an asshole, and I think you're not deserving of your platform. So I'm going to take the long route, and I'm going to help tear your shit down, and it's going to become my platform. So, and that's exactly what I'm doing in my own little way, in my own little microcosm. You go about it your own way. It might take you longer. You may never get there, but you know what? You do have the satisfaction of knowing you stood true to what you believed, and you didn't have to cater to someone else's idiosyncrasies. You didn't have to cater to their little desires. You didn't have to cater to their dishonesty. You don't have to cater to their lack of moral, of morality, their lack of what's the word I'm looking for? Integrity. You don't have to cater to their lack of integrity. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I have to sacrifice my integrity or sacrifice my voice and not speak out about something that I believe in order to protect my job. I don't ever want to have to do that, because I did that. I did that years ago on a job that I worked for a very long time. I should have said things early on. I could have fixed the problem early on, but because of the security of my job, I just kept my mouth shut miserably for 10 years. Never doing that again. Definitely won't do that in politics. And if Elizabeth Warren is sacrificing her progressive voice for the sake of opportunity in the Democratic Party, she's already lost. When she doesn't realize, just get out of the system. And there are 4 million individual contributions that are ready to get behind you. I don't know how much more clearly you can make that, but people aren't waiting for you to come up the ranks anymore. People are waiting for you to tear those ranks apart and put it back together the way it should have always been. Warren, Melissa Harris Perry, you know, for 8 years, or not 8 years, but for many years that you've been on MSNBC, you know, you really should have been building your own platform. I know you had a no compete clause, but still, you could have been building your platform simultaneously in a different format where it didn't fall underneath the no compete clause. Like Jank, you know, you have to have autonomy. You have to have enough autonomy to control your voice and not be controlled by a paycheck or by political opportunism. All right, caller, you might very well be my last call of the night. What's your name, comment, and/or question?